Hello, this is AntsGamingSuite. This is your host Anthony here with a new game which I've been absolutely loving for the past couple of days now. The game came out, released out last week Tuesday, Wednesday, and more people are jumping on board of the game. It is a, if you're into the whole waifu or husbando anime style, it is a free MMORPG game which is available on the PS4, the PC, and even your iOS and Android devices. In terms of the graphics, they are absolutely the same across all platforms, so be sure to check it out. If you played the game Breath of the Wild before, it is very similar to the likes of that. However, I think it is too good to be a replica of that game itself. It is one of the largest Chinese game launch ever that I've ever seen here, and my advice is for you to spend a couple of hours playing the game as to see why this game has been a growing game. But anyway, be sure to hit that like, hit the subscribe, and hit that notification. I will be releasing a lot more Genshin Impact guides, tips and tricks, and a whole bunch of gameplays regarding to this. So be sure to stay tuned for further videos, and make sure you pick up the game and enjoy it. And let me know in the comment section down below whether you've played it already, enjoying it, and yeah. Anyway, like all MMO games, it is a gacha game for those who are new to this game. In order to obtain heroes, you do have to do a bit of spinning, but you don't necessarily have to spend a dime on this game, as there is a pity system in place for you to obtain the character at a later stage as you progress in the game here. Further to this one, do not worry as well. In terms of in-game weapons and stuff like that, you don't necessarily have to spin the gacha. You will be able to farm them at a later stage, as confirmed by one of the YouTubers previously. So be sure that is going to be okay for you. Anyway, let's jump into some of the basic mechanics of the game. There are currently 6 elements in the game, and each character have their own 2 unique skill sets. One being an elemental attack, and the other one's kind of like a super ultimate charge, which you progressively have to build up over time in order to activate. Anyway, so moving on to the 6 elements. The first off is the Geo here, which is a rock-based attack here. So I'll give you a quick example. So this is one of the Geo characters. And simply she can cast a shield, which is great. And if you hold the charge here, she can cast a Geo attack. Fairly awesome. That is her skill set. So that's what a Geo element is. So that's the first element. The second element is called Pyro, which essentially is your fire element attack here. So you can have a charged sword attack, which is fairly awesome, and it does deal damage over time as the enemy sits into it. So every element does have a crucial impact in terms of dealing damage, weakness to certain enemies and certain mobs. The next element in the list is called Hydro, which is typically your typical healer here. So this character, I can heal. I can do, if I charge my attack up, I can do a water-based attack here. Fairly cool. If I wanted to activate my ulti, I can simply do so as well. The next element in the game is called Amino, which is essentially a wind element here. Don't know why I couldn't pronounce that. So if I charge it up, see, I can get a amazing wind attack. And there is and the next on the last 2 elements is Electro here. So in terms of Electro, she is an electric damage. So if I charge I can cast a bolt, and if I shoot the weapon into the water, I can simply do an electrocute all the other enemies in the area. Same with Ice here, and that is the last one, which is called Cairo. Simply freezes. Ice damage attack. Fairly cool. So within the 6 elements, you can do necessary combos together, which will trigger a special effect, which is a topic for another video. So be sure to Stay tuned to that one. I will release that video shortly for you guys to know. Moving on to the party system here. Within the game, you'll be switching between 4 characters. You can set them as the way as you like. You can have a fire element, you can have a water element, all based on your decisions and how you want to do, and the monster patterns itself here. So moving on as well, as you progress through the levels, you can level your character up using experience books, or even like simply killing monsters, which is a great progression in the game. But anyway, as you progress through the game, you will obtain different weapons. You can get them through the gacha as well, but as I've mentioned before, you don't necessarily have to, spend a dime on this game in order to obtain them. You can craft them at a 4-star stage, and which is very important to the game for you, because otherwise you will be struggling to kill monsters. Soon enough, when you progress through the game at a later stage, you will come across things called artifacts here. Artifacts can simply be obtained through chest unlocks, quests, which essentially gives you a 4-piece set or a 2-piece set or a 1-piece set. So essentially what that means, if you equip a 2-piece set into your character here, you'll be able to unlock an elementary mastery by 80, or if you have 2 pieces of the same called martial assist, you'll be able to have a bonus attack damage by 15%, so on and so forth. So if you make sure, you got to make sure you do farm your artifacts and set them up in the right way in order to be efficient with your characters. And these can be simply obtained through chests and monsters and dungeons, as I mentioned previously already. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to jump into some tips and tricks that I think personally is what I think is necessary for beginners that's starting out into the game here. My advice is, when you first start into the game, you will be down here in Mondstadt here. Follow the main story quest to level up your adventure level. That is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to explore and open every chest. Whether you be, say, example, you have a quest here and you have a waypoint. Make sure when you travel your journey way, pick up these waypoints. You want to pick up any chest along your way, because when you pick up these chests to unlock these waypoints, 1, they make it easier for you to travel across the map, and 2, they do contribute roughly between 10 to 15 adventure level experience, which greatly adds up over time. So make sure you do that. The third thing is something that I did do a huge mistake in starting out into the game. So I'm putting this in as tip number 3. If you're deciding to collect any Anemo Oculus, which essentially resonates within the first area of the map, they're like little blue or little teal orbs with wings on them, which you can simply go to the statue and do a praise here. So once you praise them, you can get increase in stamina, you can fly longer, you can swim longer, and all of that nature. So make sure you do that. However, if you are deciding to pick up these Oculus, you have to make sure you use the Genshin Impact map. I will leave a link in the description down below, so make sure you take a look at that map one, because it does help you, or does show you where all the Anemo Oculus is located, and you can simply go across the map and tick, okay, you've done that, you've done that. You don't want to be in the same mistake that I did, whereby spending a couple of hours trying to figure out which one I am missing, and it absolutely does kill a lot of your time. So trust me on this one, follow the link and use the interactive map. Tip number 4, level up fast to adventure level 7. The reason why I say adventure level 7 is because you do unlock the effect of raisins here. So raisins will be able to allow you to enter different dungeons, different boss fights, which you'll be able to unlock material for your artifacts, material for your weapon crafting. So be sure to always use them up. Even if you don't want to go into dungeons because you don't need a certain material, there's a thing called ley lines. Ley lines are essentially will provide you 100 adventure level XP and a whole bunch of goodies to level up your characters here. So make sure you always use it up wisely and make sure it never caps at 120. That is tip number 4. Tip number 5 here, adventure level 12. Make sure you try and level up very, very quick, because when you hit level 12, you'll be able to unlock the daily guild rewards here. Once you unlock the daily guild rewards, you will be able to do 4 missions a day, which gives you a great boost in adventure rank. So you can see here, you'll get 500 points every day that you do, and they're simple tasks. I can't urge you enough that it only takes you 30 to 40 seconds, maybe a couple of minutes, just to finish 4 simple tasks and obtain the 500 AR or experience into your adventure rank. Tip number 6 here. As soon as you hit into Monset and you follow the storyline, my advice is try and obtain the guidebook as fast as possible. The guidebook, essentially, this is the guidebook here. As you progress through the game, you do have requirements to unlock, like open 15 chests here or activate 3 waypoints. You know, that's an easy 200 points there ready to your adventure points, which greatly attributes to your leveling progression in the game. So that is tip number 6 here. Tip number 7 is the final one. Tip number 7 is always try and focus on one main character that you really enjoy playing. You can switch them out at a later stage depending on your style or even the roles that you get. So always try and focus on one character. For me personally, for example, I can say I like Fischl. I'll just focus on maxing her level out, finding the best weapons, picking the best artifacts for her that will do great element damage and artifacts, and so on and so forth. So that is tip number 7 for me. And if you guys enjoyed the tips so far, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe as well. That would be greatly appreciated. We'll do a lot of Genshin short guides for you, tips and tricks and whatnot. But anyway, I'll see you guys at a later stage. Peace out.